What's up guys, Jack here, I'm at Tech Videos. So today I wanted to give you a bit of an update of my setup here, as a few things have changed since the start of the year. I've got some new things going on behind me, which we'll get into later, and some new desk accessories that I've been using. But first, let's start with the desk itself, as this is very much the center of my entire workspace. This is a standing desk from Vernal, who are the sponsor of this video. The Vernal standing desk is a modular, all-in-one system that I've been using pretty much every day now since the start of the year. Before that, I never really had a proper desk setup when I was making these videos. I'd often go and work somewhere else in the house, which would just lead to distraction. Now, having this workspace that I built up, I've been able to focus a lot more and just get on with whatever it is I need to do. Vernal have a few different configurations that you can choose from. You can go with an L shape if you like more of a corner setup, or your more traditional rectangular tabletop like me. The desk is fast to assemble. I did it all myself. The frame comes pre-assembled on the desktop, so really all you have to do is attach the legs and feet and connect up a couple of cables. They have a few different sizes to fit your space, ranging from 100 to 150 centimeters wide. I'm using the middle size at 120 by 70 centimeters, and they've got a variety of desktop choices, including walnut, light walnut, bamboo, and white. I really like that clean, minimal look, so I went with the white tabletop and the black legs. It comes with a 15-year guarantee for that peace of mind, and after almost a year, mine still looks and functions good as new. There's no marks, no scratches or damage anywhere, and no sagging or bending in the middle. The corners are all softly rounded too, which is great. No one likes walking into the corner of a sharp desk. The all-in-one system means that you can build and customize your desk exactly how you like it. They have 8 accessories, including the desk shelf to give you more storage space and raise your monitor up, the extension board giving you an extra 30 centimeters of width either side, a CPU holder for a tower, an integrated drawer and keyboard tray for keeping things tidy and out of the way, and then furniture pieces like the cabinet, filing cabinet, and the executive desk shell, all of which come in matching colorways to the desktops for a unified look and aesthetic. Along with a couple of ergonomic chairs, they just sent me one of their S-series chairs, which features adjustable head and armrests, 2 independent lumbar supports, and a silky smooth tilt with this synchronized mechanism connecting the backrest and the seat so that they tilt together. Now this is a standing desk, so you can quickly switch up your workflow between sitting and standing. There's a keypad mounted just under the tabletop with your up, down, and 4 preset buttons, as well as a lock button. And you can set the height anywhere between 60 and 125 centimeters. The desk is very sturdy too, with metal legs, no matter what height I have it set to. It's pretty fast too. It moves at 40 millimeters a second, and yet you can even keep a penny balanced upright on its side just to make a point. And it accelerates and deaccelerates at the start and end, so there's no sudden jolt as it starts or stops moving. The desk has some pretty serious lifting power, up to 160 kilograms. So even with everything on the desk, it can lift me as well, and I'm a little over 80 kilos. And it has a collision sensor if it detects something solid, so it will automatically stop and raise back up. When my Apple Watch pings at the end of every hour, I dutifully stand up, hit my preset, have a little stretch, and then within a few seconds, the whole workstation has raised up so I can keep working comfortably. And speaking personally, I do find that standing every now and then just helps me focus better and stay more alert throughout the day. I have more energy, and I feel less fatigued when I mix in some stand time. And maybe you'll find the same with you. As well as being a workspace, you probably noticed that I film all my videos in here too, so this desk very much doubles as part of my set. I'm always using it when I need to grab bits of B-roll for product shots. It works great as a backdrop, and I can raise up or lower the desk as needed if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to change the camera tripod. So if you're in the market for a standing desk, click the links in the description and check out Vernal's Black Friday sale with up to 50% off products on their site. Thank you to Vernal for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. And while yes, they are sponsoring this part of the video, I have had a great experience with this desk, so I was more than happy to partner with them and talk to you guys about it. My space in this room is kind of limited, so if I ever move to a bigger room, then I'll be going to Vernal to get an even bigger version of this desk. So let's move on to my tech and desk accessories next. I'm only going to focus on the new stuff here, or the things that have changed. So if you see something that I don't mention, go check out my first setup video, which I'll link to below, as I would have talked about it then. But I do just want to quickly cover my MacBook Pro and the studio display. These haven't changed, but they are kind of important. I'm still using the same M1 Max MacBook Pro, which I've had since mid-2022 now, and I've got it hooked up to an Apple Studio display. This MacBook Pro still just blows me away. It handles anything that I throw at it. I edit all of my videos in 4K, I edit photos in Photomator, I make thumbnails in Pixelmator, sometimes all at once if I am jumping between apps, and it never or rarely ever slows down. Maybe if I've got like a lot of animated or like motion track text, then I might need to render part of a timeline in Final Cut Pro, but that's about it. Final Cut Pro 11 just released actually, and they added this new magnetic mask feature that automatically cuts out an object or a subject in almost real time. It would take hours for me to manually rotoscope around a person, and now it takes just a few seconds. This is really intensive stuff, and the M1 Max handles it with ease. So despite being 4 generations on now, with the M4, I'm just not feeling any need to upgrade my Mac. The M1 Max is still an incredible chip, and it gets Apple Intelligence too. Still loving the Studio display. It has completely changed my workflow with all of that extra screen space. I can have multiple apps all open side by side, see just way more of my timelines and footage in Final Cut. It's bright, it's vivid. It doesn't support HDR or have a 120Hz refresh rate, which I thought would bother me before I bought it, but honestly, it just hasn't been that big of a deal. I don't sit and watch HDR content here or edit these videos in HDR, so it's just really not been a problem at all. I love the design of it. It looks stunning sat on the desk with that big 27-inch display. It connects and charges the MacBook with a single cable, so I can quickly unplug it and take my Mac on the go. So no regrets here. I'd still highly recommend this display if you've got a Mac. And just to mention as well, both the MacBook Pro and the display are from the Apple Refurb store. So I did get a discount by like a few £100 each on these. It's hidden away at the bottom of Apple's website if you didn't know about it. And these are all products that Apple have refurbed themselves with all new genuine parts as needed. Literally, the only difference is they come in a plain white box. They still come with warranty, you get Apple Care, and I've not had any issues with either of these so far. So it's a great way to make a saving. Just be quick on buying as the stock does come and go pretty quickly. One of the first things I added to the setup since last time was this Phillips Hue gradient light strip. I've got it just behind the desk shelf to add a bit of colour and some nice vibes to the setup. It's 2 meters long, but you can cut it down to size, and it sticks on its own with its own little sticky pads. I've set it up with HomeKit so I can feel like Tony Stark with voice control. The only thing is, Apple HomeKit still doesn't have support for making color gradients yet, so you will need to use the Philips Hue app to set up and use these. And they're a lot of fun. You can choose up to 3 colors, make it animate, fast or slow for each one, and I love it. I think it just adds so much to the setup. Next up, I've just switched over to Apple's new Magic Keyboard, Trackpad and Mouse, which now will have USB-C. That is pretty much the only change with these. There are some minor differences, like the trackpad corners being a little rounder now. The C port is still underneath on the mouse, of course. I know this gets a ton of hate, but honestly, it doesn't actually bother me that much because it gives you plenty of warning when it is getting low, and it only takes a few minutes to get a few hours charge out of it. So yeah, I'll plug it in, flip it upside down, and I'll go and make a drink or something. Ergonomically, it is a bit low. I don't like using it for long periods, but I do like that you can scroll in any direction on the surface. My biggest problem with these is actually with the keyboard, is this still doesn't have a backlight, which pretty much every other wireless keyboard out there manages to have. But I do like having the Touch ID version to quickly authenticate a payment or enter a password. It was kind of getting annoying having to type my password in every time on my old keyboard. This is something that you'll only find on Apple's keyboard, so I kind of wish that they could have somehow added Touch ID under the trackpad glass or the mouse, and that way you could use any keyboard that you fancy and still get the benefits and security of Touch ID. This is my first Magic Trackpad, and I can confidently say this is the best way to navigate and move through macOS. It brings over all of those awesome gestures and touch controls from the MacBooks to any Mac, or to a MacBook that you've got docked to an external display like me. Underneath, I've now got a desk mat from Harber, London. One side is made from 100% full grain leather. It feels really great quality, very durable and high end, with this fine stitch work all along the edges. Then on the other side, you've got a choice of microfiber or this felt padding, which adds a nice contrast and texture and some protection for the desktop. This is a really unique wireless charger. This is the GLYDE from a company called Journey. It has this very Apple-esque design with the solid lines and the matte white finish. To me, it kind of looks like a giant iPod when you're holding it in your hand, like I just can't unsee it. It features a 15-watt Qi2 charger on top for your iPhone, along with a second charger for some AirPods, and a third charger for your Apple Watch hidden underneath this sliding design as well. And if you're wondering why it's so thick, it's because it has a built-in 10,000 mAh battery as well. So you can disconnect it from your desk setup and take it with you on the go. Using it like this also gives you another output, as you can plug something into the USB-C port, making it a 4-in-1. Now, I don't take this on the go because it is just a bit too big and heavy for my liking, but I do really like how it looks on the desk, and I have taken it and used it around the house. Then here I have this cool little timer thingy that I got from Amazon. I like to use the Pomodoro technique when I'm working. So that is when you start working and you start a 25-minute timer. And then when the timer rings, you take a short 5-minute break to do whatever you want. You make a drink, check your socials, read the news, and then you repeat that pattern of work and breaks until the 4th timer, and then you take a longer 15 or 30-minute break. And I find it helps me to stay focused and be more productive, working in short, intensive bursts with regular breaks in between. Try it out sometime, maybe it works for you too. I used to do this when I was a student as well, and you can of course use the timer on your phone, but I quite like having this one here just to keep the temptation of my phone out of sight. This is something that I'm not even sure if you can buy or not. It's something that YouTube sent me. It's a play button made of bricks, pretty neat, so thank you YouTube for that. On the other side, I have my Fuji X100 VI. I love this little camera for its size and just the whole look of it and the design. It's got that retro camera feel, which carries through to the images that it takes. This camera lets you shoot with some classic Fujifilm emulations from back in the day, so you can take some quick snaps and then share them right away. It's perfect for travel. I've already taken it on a couple of trips this year, and since my review, where I only really focused on the photography side, I've started using this on my YouTube videos as well to shoot some A-roll for my unboxing videos. So I've got it on the shelf here for quick access, but also because it is just nice to look at. I actually managed to get one of the limited edition ones here in the UK, so it has a few unique engravings on and around the camera. Then tucked nicely under here, this is the Anker Prime 250-watt hub. This is a 6-in-1 charger with 4 USB-C ports along the front, along with a 2.26-inch display for real-time charging stats, then 2 A ports on the side for lower power or legacy tech, and this smart control knob for scrolling through and navigating the menus. This hub is a bit of a beast with a total output of 250 watts across all 6 ports combined, or 140 watts from the C1 port on its own. And that is powerful enough to fast charge a 16-inch MacBook Pro at full speed. Great for charging up a bunch of tech at once. This has a few different charging modes for setting things like port priority or dual laptop mode. You can monitor and set all of this up via the app too, even when you're away from home. I've got a whole video on it, so check it out if you are looking for the ultimate charger hub for your desk. Let's move on now to the ladder shelf and the pegboard. The ladder shelf is more of just set dressing, to be honest, for these talking headshots, as it was looking pretty bare behind me when I first put this workspace together. I needed something pretty slim to fit in the room. You can fix this to the wall, but I have just got it lent up so I can move it if needed. And it seems pretty stable, pretty happy where it is. But I do have a few things that I like to keep here. So on the bottom shelf, I've got all of my grams 28 tech slings and camera bags. Love these. They come in a few different sizes. They're made from Italian pebbled leather, and they're very high quality and premium with lots of pockets and pouches inside, depending on how much you want to carry. Plus a few books that I've collected. I do like a nice photography or a design book. They're good for reference. And they also tend to have pretty nice covers too, so I'll often use them for bits of B-roll or in some thumbnails. Next shelf, I have some more books, plus this cool play button lamp again that YouTube sent me. This white box has no purpose, I just thought it looked good here. It's actually the box that the Apple Watch Series 2 came in back in the day. I mentioned this last time, this is the Meross smart lamp. It now lives on the shelf. This works with HomeKit like the light strip, so it's great just for setting the vibe when I'm working. Then up here, this is a blast from the past. This is the 6th generation iPod Classic. I have been going back to look at some old iPods and some shorts recently. I have not covered this one yet, but I probably will soon. And yeah, I do cover a lot of Apple products here on the channel, so it made sense just to have this piece of history part of the set. Then there is one more shelf up top. Up here, I've just got an LED light to highlight the back of my head when I'm doing these talking to camera shots. Then behind me, this is a fairly new addition. This is the GLYDE Pegboard from IKEA. Not sure my pronunciation there. Super cool. This is modular and you can basically customize it however you want. And IKEA have all of these different accessories and attachments. I went with white to complement the desk and just to keep things looking bright and clean. The things that I want the most access to, I keep down here so I can reach them when I'm working. I have these clear pots with a bunch of USB-C and lightning cables, or adapters and SD card readers, even some super old duck cables for when I am doing a retrospective tech video. Then just above, I've got a bunch of chargers from Anker and TESSAN. This one is pretty cool. It is an all-in-one travel adapter with all of these different slide-out prongs for around the world. I've mounted this battery charger down here for AA and AAA batteries for just lights and equipment. This is the backbone controller, the PlayStation edition, because I am a Sony boy at heart. They make a Lightning or a USB-C version, and this works with remote play on the PS5, so you can stream your PS5 games to your phone for some casual gaming around the home. I'll grab it when I'm on like a quick break to jump into like a chill game like Astrobot and do some exploring or just go looking for collectibles. The physical buttons make it a way better experience than trying to use those pretty clunky touchscreen controls. Then here I've got a Bluetooth speaker from Sony, and I can just grab this and take it on the go in, of course, orange. And then a couple of lanyards to use as wrist or neck straps with any cameras. On this tray, I keep the Sony lenses that I use for the A7 III that I use to shoot all of my YouTube videos. Then right up top, this is the FREEWELL Genuis Rig. This is ace. You can slide your phone in, lock it in place. It has these two handles which clip onto the mount points around the cage to help you keep your phone footage nice and steady and quickly switch up between horizontal and vertical shooting. One of these doubles as a tripod and the other as an extension. It's pretty sweet. Then with 11 threaded holes and 5 cold shoes, you can mount your lights and mics and any external storage to build out a little mobile rig. And my top feature is it has a magnetic filter slot for attaching one of FREEWELL's Sherpa filters and a mount plate for any of their mobile lenses. Love how the pegboard turned out. It's functional and I think it looks pretty great. The only thing that I don't like is the white exterior can chip off, exposing like the wood underneath. So I did have to get a little pot of white paint just to top it up. But that's only really a problem when you're figuring out where to put all of the various attachments and accessories. So that's been an updated look at my setup and just general workspace. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure that you check out Vernal's Black Friday sale if you are in the market for a new desk. They have some pretty fantastic deals on at the moment. Links to everything are in the description. If you want to see a video about my shooting setup and how I make these videos and what equipment I use, then let me know. That's something I can do as well. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and hit the bell to see more tech videos from me. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.